right, and we're going to have to let the music fade just a bit because we are back for game number 3. We are tied between IRD and Scum. Game number 1 going in the favor in the early game of IRD, and Scum returned with fire, destroying them and ending game number 1 in a decimating style. But game number 2, IRD responded in turn, smashing through the ranks of Scum with great synergy and good focus on the map. We are excited and ready for game number 3. A lot of these games seem to be heavily favored off of these picks and bans, and so we'll be heading shortly straight into the pro draft for game number 3. So Jess, you saw game number 1, you saw game number 2. What are the priority picks coming out for these teams for game number 3?
I mean, it looks like one of the priority picks has been the Sejuani, the Tarek, the Garen, the Vladimir. These are things that definitely want to be banned out. The Aatrox. It looks like on Scum Gang side, they are banning out that Aatrox. They don't want to see IRD have that Aatrox again because they just really struggled with that as well. And I'd be questioning to see if they ban out a Jinx.
Well, we'll have to see. Once again, Game 1 and Game 2, the ADCs were locked in for both teams. The Kai'Sa, the very first pick for Scum game twice in a row, and the Jinx, in turn, from the side of IRD. Now, this game, there's that chance for IRD being on the blue side to pick themselves that Kai'Sa, but no, they're going to immediately lock into Sejuani. They found great success with it game number 2. They said she is potentially our key for these victories, and so we're going to go ahead and lock her in, pair her up with the Jinx once again. Considering that Carrie did such a fantastic job, 9-1 was the kills to deaths in last game. A great job from Carrie on that ADC. They're going to lock in the Nami support as a counter to the Braum, and the Jarvan locked in by Scum Gang.
Nami is definitely a really strong support right now. She has that bubble potential, knock up CC, the disengage, or even the engage with the Wombo combo Sejuani ulti. So it'll be definitely interesting to see. And it gives her the sustain because that Braum, oof, it's going to be rough. They let the Braum go through on the ban list, as well as there's going to be an Ezreal. So they got that heavy poke going on, that heavy aggressive bot lane.
And we'll see what they decide to now ban away. There's that Vladimir you were talking about. The Garen immediately responded to by IRD from game number 1. Spoder Juan did a fantastic job with that champion in the top lane. So you can start to see some of these players, what their priority picks are, and they're getting banned away. As the games continue, considering this is a best of 5, some of those will find their way sneaking back into the game as you aren't able to ban out every champion in the game. So LeBlanc comes through from the side of Scum Gang, taking her away from the mid lane of Dodo Floors. Nope, just kidding. It's going to be swapped over and taking the Sylas away that I don't believe has been banned once in the entire series. Very interesting choice to swap to the Sylas, but the Lysandra in response by IRD.
Yeah, definitely interesting. I haven't seen a Sylas be played at all this this round for the past 2 games that we have been streaming. So it'll be, you know, it is interesting to see. Maybe we'll see a Sylas pop up in the future games to come.
And now we get through the next couple of picks. We'll see what gets grabbed. Again, we're still back to focusing on the top lane and mid lane between these two teams. Something to note, Scum Game actually get to have the last pick this time as they did swap over to the red side. So they're going to grab Ahri for the mid lane. What feels pretty good from game number 1, they're going to try to pull off in game number 3 as well. But that means IRD get to counter pick it. I wouldn't be surprised if they try again the LeBlanc. She looked really good. However, it's a much easier for LeBlanc to burst down a Lux than a very mobile champion of that Ahri, and she's still going to have that charm to make LeBlanc's life difficult. So we'll see what they decide to grab in response to the mid lane, and ooh, a quick lock in.
Katarina.
No, it is not a Katarina. Okay, once again, we are trolled by Pro Draft. I can talk, I swear. Pro Draft trolls us. It is a LeBlanc that gets locked in, and an Irelia locked in for the last pick there. So it is an Irelia on screen, which is good. Pro Draft not trolling us there. But the Katarina is actually a LeBlanc coming through, so just keep that in mind.
Yeah, it looked a little strange. It was like, I see a LeBlanc and a Katarina. I'm like, what is happening for their teams? Oh boy, look at that spicy Jax lock-in for the top lane. That's definitely something scary to watch out for, but you know what? Aurelia is equally as scary, so it's going to be definitely heavy top lane champs going into the lane. So whoever can snowball first will definitely be the ones that have the map potential, the map pressure, and, you know, carry pressure.
Well, right, and when you're talking about that with the snowball between Jax and Irelia, both of them very capable of doing that. However, something to note is that Irelia definitely favors getting a little bit of split push with that snowball and then joining for the team fight. The flawless duet, able to land on multiple people, the Vanguard's edge, sure you can solo one person with it, but it's much more feels good when you're able to actually take that and use it on multiple members. So we'll see if the side of IRD can do that, whereas for Scum, they could just go straight for the super strong split push Jax. All he cares about is getting into that side lane, winning a 1v1, and knocking down your turrets. We've seen it before. Maybe we'll see it this time as we are into the true picks and bans of this game.
Yeah, honestly, Jax can get those picks off and would be able to pressure so hard that really might not be able to even rotate out of the lane, and that's something to watch out for, because really definitely needs to be in those team fights, needs to get that advantage with her kit on multiple targets, like you said.
All right, so IRD going to be on the blue side. We can talk about some of the changes there. One of the things that you're going to see is the fact that they don't have quite as easy access in or out of the Dragon Pit. Certainly you can take the Blast Cone over the wall, but it's not going to be as easy for you to just walk away if a fight is starting to go bad. If you're caught in that Dragon Pit, you may have to be flashing away. Whereas Game 1 and Game 2, one of the things they did so well was jump out of the picks and bans. Interesting choice. No, I think somebody accidentally picked or banned a wrong champion. So there we go. Yeah, somebody's saying, whoops, let's make sure that we pick the right champion. I'm sure we'll be back in just a moment. But what I was saying is that on the blue side, you don't have as easy access getting in or out of the Dragon Pit, and that was kind of the bread and butter from Game 1 and Game 2 when they did find success, especially in Game number 2, was their control around the neutral objective of that Drake Pit. So we'll see if they can pull off that again for Game number 3.
Yeah, there's definitely more potential to be more mobile through in and out of the Dragon Pit for Scum Gang, because they have that Braum that can jump over to the wall with the Jarvan, or with any of the other team members. We got the Jax with a war jump, we got Ari with her ulti, and Ezreal with his mobility. So there's definitely more in-game escape and more mobility around the pits involving Scum Gang than there is IRD. IRD, you know, they have the Nami for the disengage, they have their Ehrlich and CC, and they have the Sedge to CC. So they have that CC disengage, but they have to blow those CCCs to be able to get out, and that's something that could make or break the team fights.
All right, well, everyone seems to be getting back in. They're just rotating around for positioning. That's what you're seeing on screen as they're running through, making sure that everyone is in the LCS standard. There we go. And that means we should be back into the true picks and bans here in just a moment. Now, looking back at what has been picked with that pro draft, again, they've got the Ezreal in the bottom lane this time around. And when you've got a Ezreal and Braum, that's a pretty darn safe bottom lane for the side of Scum. The Ezreal able to just kind of farm and poke away from a good distance, and the Braum, again, playing that more back, defensive, throwing up that shield. However, there is some potential synergy with an early ganking Jarvan. Jarvan, one of those champions that can definitely make your life difficult with multiple repeat ganks, using the flag and drag to get the knockups, and locking you down with that Cataclysm. So the thing to keep your eyes on is this super squishy Nami in the bottom lane. It's not going to be a tank Leona, it's not going to be a tank Taric, it's not going to be a tank anyone, it's a squishy Nami. That could be a pressure point for Scum Gang in the early stages of the game.
Nami is squishy, but she does have that sustainability, she does have the utility, and she does have that buff potential to be able to buff the team, be able to sustain through it. As long as she has that position, she might be okay. But if she gets caught out, she gets slammed on or dunked by Jarvan or CC'd by Jax, it's all over for her.
So the positioning going to be key for the support of IRD. Now, let's look a little bit more into this Nami, right? What type of kit does she bring into a game? Obviously, a lot of sustain and a lot of heals for this Jinx in the bottom lane, so she can kind of play back and just farm, and the healing is what's going to be key against the poke of the Ezreal. Then she also has the ability with those bubbles, the ultimate and her Q, to be able to knock people up, hold them, a little bit of CC chain, But the biggest thing that I think is going to be a factor in this game is the ability to speed boost her allies. The LeBlanc able to collapse that much faster if she's sped up. That Nami ultimate, if she passes it through her team and then the enemy team all together, not only is her team, the Sejuani, going to be diving in that much harder. Irelia sped to the backside of the fight. LeBlanc able to get in to find those assassinations, but the enemy team also CC'd and locked up for a moment. However, as we said, squishy, so needs to be safe, positioned well, and that, of course, always means ward coverage. Knowing where this Jarvan is moving to, knowing when the Ahri is trying to roam, because if you get surprised as a support Nami in the jungle, you're dead. There's just no way that you're getting out of that.
Yeah, no way. Like, as soon as you get stomped, you're stomped. So you really just have to be position reliant, like you said. But also, we gotta pay attention to the Nami's buffs that she can put on that Jinx. If that Jinx pops up, passes up, Nami can give her even more attack speed to be able to just get large, pump out those kills, and just keep proccing her passive to win those team fights.
Well, and that's an excellent point, is that not only does the buff give you extra attack speed and damage, but you also get slows, at least for your first 3 auto attacks. Being able to use that as a bit of a soft engage on the bottom side, maybe on a turnaround fighting against the Ezreal. He mispositions with an arcane shift, the bubble from Nami lands, CCing him, and then when he's trying to escape, the slows coming out from the Jinx being buffed by Nami could be critical in being able to pick up an early kill. So that is on the Braum. Homie being able to see if he can, with that unbreakable shield, make sure that those Jinx auto attacks just don't go anywhere. That said, Braum is also not a very mobile champion. Sure, he's got the stand behind me, but it's a pretty long cooldown, and you don't want to be using it just willy-nilly. And he's been seen between yesterday's games to be a bit of a target in the early game because he doesn't have the stats to be a super tank in the very early portion of the game. And because of his lack of mobility and all that damage from Jinx is going to land on him anyway, why not just try to burn him down? We'll see if that comes through, especially with the Sejuani ability to gank in that bottom side. Could be, but Brickburner also could send eyes to that Irelia in the top lane or even the LeBlanc in the mid lane with those chains trying to knock down that Ahri. Before we get too much further, let's roll through the players and who they're playing this game, as it is game number 3 in the series. Random Capital is going to be grabbing the Irelia in the top lane for the side of Iridescence Gaming. Brickburner on the Sejuani in the jungle once again. Dodo Flores on the LeBlanc in the mid lane a second time. Carry on the Jinx for a third time, 80 carry roll. And Tide on the Nami, a little unexpected coming out of the blue. First time played so far this series.
So on the side of Scum Gang, we're going to have Spooter John on Jax. We got Boosted Lee Sin on Jarvan. We got Subman on Ahri. We got Karia on Ezreal, and we got Homie on the Braum. Interesting to note, Ezreal has TP up right now, so they don't have a heal bot. They have a teleport to have that extra map awareness, have that extra jump in. And maybe get a lane advantage, but they won't have that heal in case they get in trouble.
Well, right, and that's an excellent point on that Ezreal. The mobility to be able to get back to lane to buy that early tier is critical. What that means, though, is that with 2 people taking TP, they don't have a TP on Ahri. So Subhuman may be looking to go in for the kills with that Ignite. LeBlanc going to match the aggression with that Ignite on the side of IRD, which means they are only toting 1 TP on that Irelia. So when you're looking at the mobility with those TPs between both teams, you're really going to have to keep your eyes on when Irelia is using it and how Spooter Juan on the Jax punishes Irelia with that because of their extra TP if they can find those advantages.
Yeah, I mean, as well as Jinx and Nami can definitely capitalize on them not having that heal some earlier in the early game phase, because they can be a little bit more aggressive because they have that Nami AP damage as well as sustain, and Jinx can get in there and get some poke on. But if Ezreal can position out and Braum can shield it, they might not even need to have the heal.
Something else to see from the side of Scum. It might not happen. Teams usually don't want to commit that hard, but they could, at level 1, try to do some sort of invade. They're on the red side. That bottom lane Tribush is a favorite from the red side of the map to try to go in, find an early kill, rotate around the bottom side, and see what they can find in the enemy team jungle. With the Braum Concussive Blows passive, they also have the charm out of Ahri if she wants to take it, but that would be a pretty big commitment out of the Ahri in the early game. Level 1, you definitely prefer to have that Q for the farming, so we'll see if that comes through, if they try to go for a Braum Q invade with that Ahri charm, or if it's just going to be standard League of Legends like we've seen so far.
Yeah, definitely going to be interesting to see that early on. I mean, it'd definitely be kind of, you know, a different change to the slow early game, the slow CS, who can CS more, who can get that lane advantage, and just, you know, waiting for the opportune moment to get a kill, get a pick kind of play that's been happening.
All right, well, we are in to game number 3, ladies and gentlemen. Both teams tied up 1-1. We've seen good stuff out of both of them. The aggression, the ability to just put that fire underneath the enemy team. And we'll see if either team can find an advantage this time around. We're coming to get a little bit of an expectation from IRD to do well in lane. We'll see if they can keep up with those expectations, as it is a fairly safe start from both teams at the moment. Nami alone on the bottom side, try brush, but I'm going to walk around but not actually go in. And again, we get the junglers hanging out in the mid lane. Oh, Kiora maybe looking to punish. Roman on in here. Going to get a little bit of a dance for Sejuani. Was just hopping around on this giant Poro. But no more action there to be seen.
Just a little bit of some dancing tips by Brick Burner, but that's about it. Looks like they have that guard positioning on both sides. Very defensive, making sure no invades can happen here. Looks like they see that there's a Jax there. Jax is going to move. I don't know if Aurelia is going to go in on that, or... Yeah, it looks like they're all backing off.
Yep, so some early vision controlled by IRD on the top side of the map, so they're playing defensively, playing safe, making sure they can see where Scum rotate to, especially with Jarvan now starting on the red buff side. That is actually pretty critical, as if they can catch out knowledge that boosted Lee Sin is up there. Whereas the Sejuani going to be starting on her own red, and we'll see where she decides to go. Is it to the Krugs? We've seen that happen so many times before, or is it going to be heading towards that blue buff on the earlier side of the game? Mostly because you don't want the J4 sneaking over walls, trying to take away your buffs.
It looks like she's going to go for a race, and she's pretty confident that J4's... Oh, it looks like J4 actually might be coming in here on her.
And I think she might have seen the J4 coming around. I really don't know. I have to go back and check on that vision. No, she's headed straight towards the enemy team camp, which means J4 is walking level 2, ganking on the bottom side of the map. No expectation that he's going to be down here. And that's the squishy Nami. Exactly what we talked about. Kiora finding first blood of the game. And Scum start this one off with a little advantage. This Sejuani coming down here, seeing what she can do. However, immediately backing away, still has that red buff. And Ezreal going to find the Braum passive concussive blow stacks to get a little bit of damage down onto carry. But man, what a great movement by boosted Lee Sin. Sejuani may have just not been paying attention, as apparently Tide is going out with the Tide and gets a DC.
And here comes the pause for the strats happening.
Yep. Well, in game number 1, we had a pause come through, and Scum Gang was the one who took that advantage, talked to the team, figured out some movements, and were able to punish IRD very well and win the game. Now the pause comes through for IRD. They've lost first blood, a little bit of advantage over to this Ezreal, who's going to be really feels good as he can back and get that tier a little bit faster now. Maybe that will be the thing for them to kind of get back into this game, find their own advantage. But again, we're only 2.5 minutes into the game. It's not anything critical or crazy for either team. Sejuani, though, is getting a little bit of aggression going on as she heads into Jarvan on the bottom side jungle. We'll see if she wants to keep that up or backs away. Alright, so she's going to be backing away for now. Both junglers only picking up the red buff. Brickburner may have been thinking to try to steal away the J4 blue buff, but says, nope, it's okay. I'll head towards my own camps. Maybe headed to her blue.
Yeah, it was a nice rotation on the Braum to help defend that blue buff to make sure the jungler can stay in. Maybe pick up a kill there.
So LeBlanc doing the sad walk of shame back to the top side of the map. Didn't see that J4, so the early aggression I boosted Lee Sin is good. On the top side, Jax winning out a 1v1 fight against the Irelia. Random Capital's just not respecting the early game damage out of this Jax. There's a huge wave that is going to come in and start to deal a lot of damage onto the turret, but a follow went from the Irelia. Jax walking away, did not want to try to fight underneath the turret. The early levels has burned through all of his corrupting potions, so Spooder Juan, may want to recall here in a little bit. Has that TP available to get back to lane. Oh, hold J4 coming in for another gank. He got his blue buff. He's been pinged out. They know this is happening, but no, he's still going to be walking right on in, looking for the Nami again. No flash available. The EQ not quite going to catch out the Jinx. He's going to get a bit of a zap onto the Ezreal, but that is 2 quick kills for Scum. And man, they are just not respecting on the side of IRD the J4 potential on this bottom lane. Even with the ward, they didn't see J4 walking in until it was way too late.
Yeah, definitely being more aggressive, adding more of that lane pressure, and that's what they need. If they want to get that extra win under their belt for the next round and, you know, have a little bit of an advantage, have, you know, a little bit of relief knowing, you know, I got a win under my belt, they have to break this tiebreaker, so the pressure is on for both sides right now. Yeah, it looks like there's a little bit of a gold lead here by 1K for Red Side with 2 kills up, and I think they had obtained first blood as well.
Yeah, they got first blood, and they are doing very well with it, continuing to pressure and put that hurt onto the bottom side, punishing the early squishy Nami. So she's not worth a whole lot of gold. However, the Jinx has been able to keep up CS so far in the game. As the top side, both the jungle is going to come in. It's going to be a 2v2 as the Jax is going to be engaged upon. He's going to hop away. A great leaping strike to be able to get him out for the moment. He's going to want to chase back in, but with the J4 there, they are just going to play defensively. Junglers heading back into the fog.
Yeah, the Jax is just way too low to be able to turn around and make a fight there, so he has to back off, get some CS, heal up a bit with some of the pots. I think he just popped.
Good, and this is what, from the Sejuani, is going to make her life difficult ganking onto this top side against this Jax. Not only does he have that counter strike to avoid a couple of those auto attacks, but that leaping strike making Jax very difficult to hop on. Gotta give credit, though, to Random Capital. So far, 10 CS lead against the Jax, doing very well. Just solo. It's just a straight-up 1v1 is winning out in this CS. Jax is going to still try to go in, but the follow sweat's going to land, and Irelia could kind of get a little bit of turnaround damage. Oh, hold on. The ult in, though, from the Jax is going to get punished as Random Capital takes him out. He was hoping that Irelia, with burning those cooldowns, wouldn't be able to win the fight. However, Irelia pops a corrupting potion, just goes right back in, gets the resets, the damage, and finds a first kill for IRD.
Yeah, it was definitely pretty head-to-head close. And you know what? Irelia just popped off at the end with the cooldowns he had. Jax just underestimated the damage he could pump out there for the turnaround. And it looks like Red Side right now has got the dragon control, the ward control happening for that Cloud Drake. And they might want to pick that up for more map mobility, more potential for that J4 to be able to roam around and do some more dunk ganks.
I like the punishment coming out from the side of Scum and this bottom side. You saw that Nami, she's super squishy, even boosted Lee Sin coming back down here for a third time, and they're going to keep pushing this hurt button for the side of IRD. And they're forcing this Nami to not even heal the Jinx, but focus on healing herself in this bottom lane because of the damage coming out from this Ezreal in the early game. J4 spending a lot of time in here. The wave is eventually going to break. He started that recall. We'll see if he cancels that as the wave is going to be starting to move forward. But Sejuani heading back to the top side. Falls too wet from Irelia. He's going to land onto the Jax. He's trying to use the counter strike to get himself out. He forces the flash to move. And now J4 making the play on the bottom side. Going in. Gets the auto attack. Burning through the armor of the Nami. She's going to be squishy and drop for a third time. And that is 3 kills onto the Ezreal. Kiora doing an amazing job so far this game. It's really been boosted Lee Sin's ganks. But the Ezreal getting all 3 kills is huge because he's going to complete his item so much faster than this Jinx.
Yeah, he's got the 3 kills, 300 gauge. Yeah, he's building in. I think he's building into that Trinity Force right off the bat. Jinx has to build really safely, and they're going to definitely rotate on that dragon, which will be very useful to J4 to have more pressure down on the top side as well.
Yep, Windrake secured by Scum Gang. Game number 2 was huge in IRD's favor. They found every single Drake that game and did a great job rotating around it. However, Scum with the positioning this time around and continuing to punish this bottom lane squishy support, find themselves the first Drake of the game, and that's going to allow J4 with that Windrake to get into lane even faster and even easier to find these fights.
And exactly what they needed to do is they know that that's their strong point, getting those dragons, so they really need to work on stopping that, and they have. They're really shutting it down. They're really getting the pressure, and they got the dragons they need. If, IRD gets the dragon control that they're really good at getting, they might be able to catch up, they might be able to turn around, or even, gain the lead they need to carry this game into victory.
So 1 kill to 3. We got 1,000 gold lead for Scum. Hasn't risen that much with that Windrake pickup. A lot of the LeBlanc work in that mid lane, pushing, well, it's actually dropping down, but had about a 10 CS lead over the Ahri. And the Irelia on that top side is fight on the bottom side. May break out once again. There's the bubble from the Nami, and Util Flame Chompers from Jinx is actually misses as Homie walks away. What could have been a lot of damage onto the Braum, but Homie at this point with 3 assists, feeling pretty good in that bottom side. J4, though, sealing away the enemy team blue buff. And now, I don't want to say this early, but I'm kind of getting the feeling better jungler wins.
Yeah, it definitely is going to be who can add more pressure, who can get the early game spike, because they both have a lot of snowball potential. Each side is more snowball-y. The only champions that seem to be more late game would be probably Jinx, and she could still snowball regardless. And they got the Jax that can snowball, and Aurelia.
Oh, hold on. Sejuani going and looking for the Braum, forcing out the flash. He's going to get the sand behind me as well. The zap comes through from the Jinx, slowing him down, but Sejuani not going to chase in, trying to get that last auto and stun. The hesitation hurting IRD again. Sejuani sitting just off to the side, maybe wanting to look for a re-engagement, though, as that waiting for the wave to get pushed out, but the 4 coming down to the bottom side brush. But no, there's a J4 on the top side of the map at 2v2 as LeBlanc is roaming up here. She's going to distort to get out of the Jax Counter-Strike stun. However, she's found the chains, and that's the Vanguard's Edge from the Irelia going in. Random Capitals picking up a second kill, taking down the J4 as well. A double for the side of IRD. They found their own carry potential, all 3-0 Irelia in the top, punishing this Jax as the fight on the bottom side continuing to be a little bit difficult. Whoa, the Jinx dropping low. There's the ultimate from the Braum. Seeing the Jinx. So the true shot barrage from Ezreal can get her so incredibly low. The heal wasn't available, but she flashed. She has pixels to her health, but is able to get out for the moment, and that is going to give a bunch of plays to the bottom lane of Scum Gang.
So it's definitely head-to-head between Victorious on the on IRD on the top side and Scum Gang on the bottom side right now. It looks like Scum Gang has the pressure. They're popping up some gold plating here, getting some gold, but their win potential right now might be a Fed Aurelia just could be dominating, dancing around the map.
Herald secured at the moment. Oh, hold on. Actually, Scum Gang, I completely missed the fact that Q from the Ahri was able to actually get the kill onto the Rift Herald. And now Jack's going to be coming in, looking for the Sejuani ultimate, holding him in place for the moment. He's got the Counter-Strike. He's knocked back. All he wants to do is get the Rift Herald. He is able to get it, but he loses his life in the process. So, a buff secured by Scum Gang, but they still lose their top laner for a 3rd time.
I think it's definitely worth it because he is behind. He doesn't have much gold on him. And you know what? No Herald versus a Herald could help them, get that lead and pop it early. Maybe, do a little turnaround.
They gave it over to the LeBlanc, though, 1-0-1. And this LeBlanc, past level 6, now level 9, still has the potential to find and catch out the Ahri, as she's got a lot of movement with that Spirit Rush. However, the and J4 ganking again in the bottom lane, looking for the Jinx. However, the Nami ultimate gonna slow them down. The bubble's gonna miss. J4 actually flashes in for the auto attack. Ezreal picks up the Jinx, so he's got himself a 4-0 in this bottom side. The Nami now has to be the one to defend the turret, and you can see shoving Nami down so hard that she cannot get back into the game, and now the Jinx can be their target. Take out this carry as well. There's still no focus from Scum Gang on the Irelia on the top side of the map. They're pouring every resource into Kiora, onto this Ezreal. We'll see if it works out, as that Irelia on the top side with 20 CS lead over Jax may end up head-to-head with this Ezreal in the late game stage fights. We've got 3 plates going down on the bottom side, looking for a 4th.
Yeah, I mean, it might be worth it because, you know, Jax will be able to split push, will be able to get that down. Even though he is behind, he can catch up. As Ezreal snowballing with a Braum might be very more useful, as well as getting that dragon control they need. They need to focus that dragon. Remember, if they don't, they will lose it because there's a lot of high potential right now for it, and they just pick up another Infernal.
TP to the bottom side of the map. The Flame Chomper's called out from the Jinx, will immediately root up Spooter Juan, who is coming in looking for a potential play. The Lucidity throws out that ultimate, looking for the J4. They've been able to find one, but Brick Burner, 3 members hit with the True Shot Barrage. Their health bars are dropping low. Jinx goes golden for a moment, staying alive as Subhuman Garbage, trying to get the Q out, is able to pick up one onto the Nami. However, in the meantime, the Irelia taken down by the Braum. The CC from him and the Jax just a bit too much. However, in the 3v3, LeBlanc is still here, going to be going in, looking for the Braum, is able to go in, find the kill with the killing spree, now has to hop back, but the Jax is there, and Ezreal goes unstoppable, as he is now 5-0. Jinx still considering trying to keep this fight up. The Rift Herald called onto the bottom side, so Johnny and Jinx do not have the health. Brick Burner is at 300 health. Jax can just chase this one down, as the Rift Herald will definitely secure turret 1 on the bottom side. The flash from Jax gets himself the Counter-Strike stun. He's going to be rooted up, but he doesn't care. This might even be 2 turrets to the side of Scum gang. We'll see how fast these cooldowns are, as Shelly is making her way towards that second turret.
And that's going to give them a 3k gold lead and first turret happening, as well as they got quite amount of gold plating, and they have 2 dragons on them at the moment. So definitely turning this around. I mean, they dominated bot. I mean, the Jax got up a kill, so he's not too far behind. He is, you know, Aurelia has 101 CS compared to the 78, but he does have a kill here. He did help with the team. He is farming, and he just needs to hold out as long as possible and hope that J4, Braum, and the rest of his team can snowball and carry them in by shutting down bot lane.
7 kills to 8. There we go. People hosting just to get that Azir quote coming in. It is an army being raised as people are watching this stream. They're cheering on their individual teams that they think could potentially win, as we are tied 1-1 in the standings. Fight on the top side. Irelia coming in onto the Jax. Ari in that mid lane, Subhuman in a lot of trouble. The Braum is here though, but no, LeBlanc has got the pop potential. She's forced to flash as Braum was standing on her return spot as the Ezreal True Shot Barrage drops her low. She's able to get out though with the rest of the team coming in, tanking and protecting her, so she lives for the moment as we are tied up in kills. But it's still, as you said, that 3,000 gold lead for Scum. There's no neutral objectives up on the map, which means they're going to be looking for these fights, both rotating and pressuring this mid lane, and Ezreal has got himself siege potential all day long.
Yeah, he's able just to throw out Qs for days, be able to just hit that tower and just poke them down. Naomi really needs to keep that sustained, but it's a little bit scary because she could easily just get dunked like she has been over and over again by the J4 and his ulti with Braum knockups and CC.
Yeah, and J4 has that Cataclysm available now, so could try to use it, see if he could lock somebody up maybe underneath this turret as Ezreal's poking away. He's going to get a little bit back over the LeBlanc. Going to force them away, just clears the wave. Thought maybe she was going to chase in onto the Ezreal, but nope. She's got the ultimate available. Ari's ult about 2/3 of the way back up. J4 heading to the bottom lane, looking for the split push as Jax is headed back towards that top lane. He is down 30 CS against this Irelia, and in short turn, she will be able to secure that top lane turret for the side of IRD and maybe find them their first turret of the game.
Yeah, has gold plating fallen yet? There's so much happening and it's only 16 minutes in. It's insane.
Oh, there's the gank on the top side against that Jax. He cannot counter-strike his way out of this one just yet. Spooter Juan might be saved by the Braum who's coming in. No, it is going to be a trade. The Irelia for the Jax. However, the CC will lock down the Sejuani as well. Ezreal just crushing this game 6-0, trying to do his best cosplay of carry from the last game. Mid lane fight going to go the way of Ari, catching out that Nami one more time. Tide had picked a very, very odd squishy champion this game, but is getting punished for 0-5 the scoreline. But this game, despite it going what feels like so much in the favor of Scum, does continue to get fought by IRD. They're finding small things here and there, but in the big picture, they're continuing to lose out as that top lane turret falls. Ari forced to flash in the mid lane, but now the J4 a little bit past enemy lines, maybe looking for the Irelia. Super Mega Death Rocket just misses that Ari. Subhuman able to just get out.
Yeah, it's definitely looking more in the favor of Scum right now with the 2 towers. They got about 4k gold lead. 11 kills up. You know, they got the CS. They're way ahead in items, so if, you know, IRD really needs to be able to get a pick here, be able to catch up. And looks like they're going to set up here for another dragon happening. Sedge is getting that ward controlling that needs to happen. And maybe they can accomplish some sort of team fight, accomplish a pick here.
Yeah, but Scum is there as well, immediately clearing up that vision, heading in, starting up that Wind Drake. It'll be the second Wind Drake of the game on Scum with the J4 engaged. That would be massive. They also have that high mobility Ezreal and Ahri that would just make the lives of IRD so difficult to find these catches. And at this point, with double Wind Drake, the likelihood of Nami being able to land a bubble is just so slim, and it's only going to get slimmer. That mid lane turret continuing to get sieged upon by the side of Scum, and they may say, let's just go for it and secure it. There they go, knocking it down. All exterior turrets from IRD falling. The pressure is on Scum gang. They have a minute left before the Baron comes up. I don't think they're going to try to start a 20-minute Baron, but they definitely have control over this game.
Yeah, they are clearing out vision here. Got the scuttle, but it looks like LeBlanc's going to get some damage off, so they're like, you know what? We know you got a lead, but we're not afraid to continue on fighting and maybe getting picks here.
And the side from IRD are just playing so incredibly passive. They're letting themselves get pushed around the map. The few times they've tried to make plays, they do find a kill, but usually there is a kill in response from the side of Scum gang, and they have to at some point make a call. You've got to pull the trigger. You can't just sit back for the entire game, otherwise Scum will just continue to find these gold leads. They've got a bit of control around the Baron Drake that is spawning in less than a minute, and we'll see if they can keep that up. This Ezreal has completed a... Okay, yeah, excuse me. I was about to be like, what? Yeah. He already finished that Mirror Mana. It has completed Iceborne Gauntlet next up, as well as the Gunblade. So he's 3 items in and massive. He will hurt when those poke lands. Look at the Jinx. Only a BF Sword has not completed the Infinity Edge yet. That is the difference in this game. It is massive. Tribute Force on Aurelia is the only hope for IRD at this point.
And Ezreal has 700 gold shut down on him, 6-0. He hasn't even had 1 death yet.
Oh, we'll see as all 5 members of Scum are kind of grouping up around that Baron. But they're not going to do, I've seen sometimes is at this point in the game where they got the control and they got vision around the Baron trying to go for a death brush. However, there's that Jinx Zap would have been able to catch them out if they were trying to do something. And it seems to be like the call from the side of Scum is to just reset, go back, buy new items with a little bit of farm gold that you've been able to pick up. And the delay will eventually help out IRD if that continues, because they will finally find those first items. Jinx is currently sitting on 900 gold, and I think that's actually enough to get her that Infinity Edge. They may not be able to have the time, though, because Sejuani's caught out. Brick Burner forced to flash away. A great ultimate by Nami, slowing down the Ezreal's engage, and that will get the Sejuani out, but the cost is huge from IRD. Multiple ultimates used to try to protect that Sejuani, and again, the Jinx still has yet to back carry, trying to defend this mid lane second tier turret, and then Nami almost goes down just to the 2-shot barrage from the Ezreal. Jinx is going to be in trouble as well. The turret is dropping. LeBlanc tries to go in, get a little bit of poke down, but that turret is destined to fall, and it will, hold on, as the wave crashes, Scum back away. J-Force a little bit on the backside. Didn't know if he was going to make the call. The TP coming in from the Irelia. This is the call from the side of IRD. Can they make something happen? Jackson and TP in as well, but they found the root and a stun. The Jarvan is down. Jangar's Edge onto the Kishi members on the back line, but the Ezreal still overall untouched. Spooter Juan seeing if he can make a play. The Irelia is losing all the health. Ezreal is free. Shooting is taking everyone down. The Nami picks off a kill onto Jax from luck. However, the members of IRD, hold on, they've actually backed away. They're letting carry do the damage, and having both teams lose 2 members, the top lane and the jungler, they call it off. They back away from the fight. Ezreal, though, wants to keep chasing this one in, is looking for the Nami, and look at the damage! Oh, gonna go legendary, 9-0. He said, you know what, I'm not happy not getting an ace. Let me pick a couple more kills on my way out. There it is, the Jinx as well. That was an insane W around the minions. Oh, my lord.
He just curve my ball around the minion here.
Oh my
like
lord.
Some sort of professional baseball player.
I think he's
happening.
He's pitching the major leagues right now with those skill shots. Kiora is styling, and this is huge. And one of the big factors for the side of Scum is that both games, they never really found an ADC that could just carry them straight into a victory, right? The ADCs for them in game 1 and 2 have both done okay so far. If we look at the pick and ban phase for them, they got themselves, what was it, the Kaisa in the first game and second game as well, but this time the Ezreal seems to be working out so much better for them.
Yeah, and they're probably, you know, getting more of that control because there's another dragon popping up here. They got 4 towers opposed to Irides 1 tower. They got, let's see here, about a 8k gold lead happening, 15 kills. And you know what? They're just doing a lot of work. But we gotta keep in mind here that Jax is catching up now. He was behind. But getting the Ezreal ahead is working out for them, as well as he has 141 CS, getting those items he needs, and starting to do work into the team fights. Keeping that pressure so it really can't completely come in, and they're just gonna pick up another dragon here.
Holy moly, a triple win streak for the side of Scum, but a huge thank you to Rafa for his $100 donation. There's a lot of you guys that are following. I will get to you after the series is over. Thank you so much for those follows and supporting the channel, but Rafa coming in massive. Hold on, now the Braum maybe going down. It could be a pick. Ooh, they find themselves this stuns. Bring a death rocket though, blocked by the Ahri. So there's, by Subhuman. So they keep the Braum alive. He's got to recall, so at the moment on the map, it's going to be a 4v5 for a short bit as the Baron is still up and available, but IRD are not yet willing to call a full team fight trigger. They're just waiting to maybe grab another pick. The ultimate from Sejuani is up and available. They have that Infinity Edge finally completed by the Jinx. We'll see if they can finally grab someone as Braum's coming out of the base. I really split pushing on the top side of the map.
And you know what? They do have the Baron control again. They have the pink ward down, except for IRD does have the scuttle, so it is pretty iffy. It'd be interesting to see what happens there, if there's going to be a team fight, if they can get a pick, and how they're going to carry this objective in.
Oh, hold on. That's going to be LeBlanc. Going to be in trouble. She's forced to disort away. The Ahri's trying to chase in and should be able to secure the kill. True shot for rush from Kiora will be the one to pick it up. And inside the choke of the jungle, we find ourselves another kill for Scum as the Braum is just coming up huge with these glacial fissures. Once again, setting up Scum for victory. And they have full control over the top side of the jungle. They're starting up Baron with only 2 members. Kiora and Boosted Lee Sin are there. Aurelia backing away from the top side of the fight as the Jax is pushing in against them, and with no vision from IRD, the Baron is dropping and should be secured. The Sejuani is up and available but doesn't want to. Oh, hold on, may want to try for a 50-50, but the Ahri is there. The charm is going to miss. Brick Burner just pushed off of the Baron, and Scum set their eyes on the enemy team middle inhibitor with 5 members having Baron now.
Comes like, you may have defeated us last round, you may have threw us off of it, but we're taking no names, we're coming in hot, and you're just gonna have to take it in the face. Take it, no prisoners, bringing out maybe what was their plan all along, a pocket pick Ezreal here, just carrying the game away with 12 to 0 kills, 0 deaths, and 700 gold shut down on him, still not being able to be touched at all, and just bursting those towers down. Incredible.
And now the siege starts up, and the siege only feels better when you've got yourself an Ezreal. Jax split pushing on the bottom side of the map, the 4-1 working well for Scum so far, and they might just keep going on with this. As Sejuani goes in looking for the play. Did she find the Ezreal? No, it was the Ahri that dropped down to about half health. However, the Braum unbreakable going to make things life difficult in the backside of the fight. The LeBlanc was trying to make a play, and she's going to be taken down. The J4, the take from the front line, going to be there. Jax TP's in for the fight. No, he just roams up from the bottom side, and he will make sure with the counter strike that Ezreal picks up 1, picks up 2, picks up 3, triple kill for Scum Gang. They are going to decimate the full base of the side of IRD. This should be victory for game number 3. They've got the Baron on 4 members. Only Random Capitals is up and alive. Has a flash. May try to make a stand, but nope. Just going to sit on the fountain until he gets full health. Go in. Try to find the bit of a stun. The game, however, will go to Scum Gang. They've found themselves victory with these crazy team fights in game 1. They got slaughtered game number 2. And they said, we just got to turn it right back around for game game number 3, keeping it insane. Scum Gang will win game number 3.
Yeah, it definitely was that pocket pick. You know, the junglers really decided on the early game, should I feed the bot lane or should I feed the top? And feeding Aurelia definitely didn't work out, unfortunately, for ID. And feeding Ezreal worked out more for Scum to carry in the game, letting the Jax go a little bit behind, but in the end, turning it around with 15-0 Ezreal. Just insane.
And really, from the side of Scum Gang, some of these picks were so good. The Jarvan focusing heavily on that bottom side, and Kiora being massive on this Ezreal. Kai'Sa didn't work out for game number 1 or game number 2. I have a strong inclination that IRD is going to have to ban the Ezreal in game 4 because it just looked so good. However, as I said, during picks and bans of game 3, you can't ban everyone. So some of the things that have been starting to get banned away may start to slip through as well during that pick and ban phase, because you just can't ban every strong champion in the enemy team's pool. Spooter Juan also looked good on the Jax, had a little bit of struggle in the early game against the Irelia, but didn't worry too much about it. Just said, you know what, I'm going to keep the split push going. I'm going to make sure to be taking those side lane turrets, continuing to feed gold into my team. There was already up 2 items or more. Things look good. So, as we take a quick glance at the stats, what are your thoughts for IRD? They decimated game number 2. They did so well, but what happened in this game? They need to find something of that magic in game 2 for game number 4.
Oh, I think what really was that, you know, Scum's like, you know what, we know your strong point, we know your power here, and they really just denied that. And that was the strong point that IRD usually has, is getting those dragons, getting that control, getting those extra buffs to get those little bit here to get the bonus they need. And they got 0 dragons this time, turn around, and completely different considering, you know, they had dragons both times and usually picked them up, almost all of them up in each game except for this one. Got absolutely nothing in. It didn't have as much pick control. They didn't have the bot lane control that they needed, as well as Scum just took away the game with the bot lane control, the dragon controls, and just shutting down that bot lane and just decimating the Nami. Like you said, the Nami was very squishy. I had high hopes for the Nami with the CC, the utility, but the comp that it might not have been the best pick, because Jarvan, like you said, could just jump in and dunk, as well as, you know, Braum bopping up with the ulti and just decimating.
Yeah, so a little bit of counterpicking themselves, putting themselves in a very hard spot, and the punishment from Scum was so good. So, hope to not see the Nami in game 4, as well as for them to, again, they do have the opportunity to switch sides, as they were the losing team, so they could swap to red side, but they found those successes in game 2. Maybe they can do that again. We're going to take a very quick break, but you know that when it is currently 2-1 in a series, things are only going to get spicier as the teams get more desperate for these wins. We could be seeing our final game of the series next game, but you'll have to be here to watch it. We'll be right back.